One of the more intriguing storylines as we head into the NBA reboot is the Western Conference playoff bracket, and which team will take the 8th and final playoff seed. While the Grizzlies have a 3.5 game lead before the first tip is tossed up, they've got 4 teams hot on their heels within 4 games of them. And while each of those teams have reason to be optimistic, there's one that I have my eye on in particular, and it's based on the arrival of Holy Mount Zion. Having sat out the first 44 games of the season, it really put a damper on what should have been an exciting year for the Pellies. Zion would have been among the scoring leaders, and their record would have put them in the 5th or 6th seed. While that record hasn't been amazing since he returned, you can easily blame it on his minutes restriction the first 2 games back, and all the other losses except for Minnesota are against the toughest teams in the NBA. The starting 5 Alvin Gentry has thrown out there is head and shoulders above any other 5-man lineup in terms of net rating, and they play a whopping 13.5 minutes a game, more than almost any other lineup in the league. Even if the bench units struggle mightily, we can expect this group to give them a wide cushion before subbing out in the 1st and 3rd, and then the ability to close any gaps as long as they're not too wide. Let's look at how Zion is getting so many of his buckets in Alvin Gentry's offense. His favorite go-to move is to lift both feet before the catch and then jab step while attacking. This is a much faster and more explosive move than a traditional triple threat jab step, and as you can see, NBA defenders cannot handle it. To show you how much respect this rookie is getting already from the NBA, they're allowing him to travel while doing it. He's a little sloppy with the footwork. He's supposed to land with both feet at the same time, thereby not establishing a pivot foot. However, he routinely lands with the right foot down first, and as soon as he moves it before the ball leaves his hand, it's a travel. It's a simple fix to make it legal, and it's a move every player should be mastering with particular attention to the landing with one sound. He can even do it in the post, and it's particularly devastating when executing this so close to the basket. While he does set his share of ball screens, he's just not getting enough opportunities to score as the roll man. This is where he can utilize his gallops to go strong to the basket and just bulldoze through defenders. A particular talent he has is the ability to go up powerfully yet lay the ball up at the rim softly. This is not an easy skill to develop, and for someone so young to already have such nice touch is very impressive. Add to that his ability to hang in the air, acrobatically twist and turn to either get the ball off around the defender or just straight power through them, and I'm sure as Gentry and the coaching staff pick through this footage, they'll make sure their ball handlers find Zion a lot more often after he sets the ball screen. The screen to rescreen is a staple of their offense, and check how hard Trevor Ariza worked to blow up the initial action. It leaves him wide open for Zion to turn around and nail him again, forcing Hassan Whiteside to switch. Brandon Ingram is getting better every year with his passing and leaves him beautifully with the bounce pass, knowing Melo is the last line of defense. And it doesn't seem to matter much if the defense has gotten back in position. Once he's going full steam to the hoop, there's not a lot multiple defenders can do. Zion also uses the roll to establish deep low post position, and with guys like Lonzo Ball out there, we're treated to delightful examples of skilled teamwork every night. We all know that Zion is a handful, and that he can overpower players with his incredible explosion and girth. But I think the experts figured that once he went up against NBA centers, he'd have some trouble finishing at the hoop. This little montage is Zion just manhandling some of the better defensive centers the league has to offer, either spinning quickly to get separation or to use his lower center of gravity to take away space before finishing powerfully yet softly. Imagine this. He's a 19-year-old rookie doing this to grizzled veterans. Imagine what happens in a few more years. As it is now, I'm anxious to see what happens if they make the playoffs and face the Lakers in the first round. The Lakers held off on putting LeBron on him until late in the game, but based on these clips, I don't see how they can hide James on a guard and risk getting in a dogfight early, or worse yet, falling behind to a young team that could gain confidence and actually start to believe. The Pelicans offer a nice 1-2 punch on offense, with Brandon Ingram getting more of the shots, primarily out of the pick and roll. and while we've seen great improvement from him, I fear that his reliance on the mid-range jumper will put a ceiling on his impact on the offense. He's good at it, mind you, but there's simply a whole extra point to be had by looking for his shot behind the line, something he almost never does after the ball screen. He's so long and lanky that it helps when he does eventually get to the rim to score. He's in love with the inside hand finish, but it tends to take him a lot of dribbles and changes of direction to eventually get there. I suspect this will also improve going forward. When I analyze his misses at the rim, it seems to be a combination of not getting calls from an inordinate amount of contact and then the inability to finish through said contact. At some point, either he'll have to get more respect from the refs or get stronger to absorb the collision, or both. And that brings us to Lonzo Ball, who is the main assist guy just ahead of Jrue Holiday in the half court. It's easy to rack up dimes when all you have to do is reverse the ball to a trailing Zion and let him do all the work. But there is an advanced level of vision with Lonzo. Watch as he comes off this inside ball screen. At the same time, Holiday is back screening for Zion. You can see Lonzo scanning this action, taking his time, under control, and then lifting in the air, patiently waiting for either the cutter to get open or the easier pass to the screener wide open for the three-pointer. But what makes him so special is his ability to throw touchdown passes in transition. The pressure that these types of passes put on the defense is immeasurable, and he's got a real talent for placing it just within reach of his streaking teammates. There's also an audacity that can take your breath away. Did he really just throw that pass? Of course, in the playoffs, as teams are much better in transition defense, he might not get as many opportunities, but just the threat of throwing them could open up other things in their half-court offense, and at the very least make it easier to initiate their sets. Since Zion has returned, the team has shown marked improvement. Before Williamson got back, the offense was ranked 18th in offensive rating and 26th in defensive rating. Isolating the games since Zion returned, their offense has shot up 7 spots to 11th, and that certainly is attributed to Zion's immense talent. But there was an even crazier jump on the defensive end. In the 20 games since Zion got back, they're ranked 8th, an unheard of jump in efficiency, but we shouldn't be crediting Zion as much as Derek Favors. It was his return to the lineup that sparked the Pelicans initially, and his anchoring of the defense is critical to any hope they have of getting to the postseason. You can see how deep he drops to contain the pick and roll, daring the ball handler to shoot the dreaded mid-range shot, and he's also good at quickly getting his hand up to contest if the shot goes up. He gives 6 feet of room to Jimmy Butler, and he is adept at containing the ball while also being aware of the roll man, which slows the penetration and gives Lonzo Ball a chance to recover nicely and block the shot. His off-ball positioning is very good. Watch how he can help cover for Ball on the back screen, then get back in position on his man before rotating down to help on the baseline drive. This puts him in great position to stop the potential drive by Adebayo and makes Ball look even better as a defender on this contest. As both Ball and Holiday get caught up in the handoff action, it's Favors who covers for them by picking up the diving Butler, then jumps off of him to contest the drive into a bad miss. While the Grizzlies have a 3.5 game lead, remember, the rules this year state that if a team is within 4 games of the 8th seed, there is a 2-game playoff, with the lower seed needing to win both to make it. This will surely make for a crazy finish, lots of storylines and intrigue, but none more profound than the Pelicans at full strength and featuring the beginnings of a career that will have people singing Holy Mount Zion for years to come. If you like this video, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to B-Ball Breakdown so you can get alerted right away when we drop a new video. This season will be filled with incredible content, so don't miss it. You in?